There's a moment I remember really vividly in my career. I was in a high-stakes meeting where there were multiple stakeholders and competing interests, and a really quick deadline by which a decision had to be made. And I could feel my mind starting to spin, not because I didn't know what to do, but because there was just way too much to process at once. And that moment taught me something that I still use today. Clear thinking under pressure isn't about being smarter, but it's about knowing how to slow your mind down when everything around you is speeding up. I'm Krithika, a global sales and marketing leader and ICF certified professional coach. Welcome to Align, where we explore grounded strategies to help you thrive at work without losing yourself. Across my career in big tech and now in coaching, I've been in enough high-pressure situations to know this. Your ability to think clearly when it matters most becomes the foundation of your leadership. And so today, I want to explore 4 habits that have helped me and the people I coach stay clear when the stakes are high. The first habit is to create a gap before you respond. When pressure hits, your instinct is to match it. Someone challenges you and you defend. An urgent request arrives and you respond immediately. But reacting quickly isn't the same as thinking clearly. The leaders that I found most impressive do something counterintuitive. They slow down exactly the moment that everybody else speeds up. And they don't do this dramatically, just a beat. I used to pride myself on being fast, quick replies and quick decisions. But I noticed that my best thinking never happened in those reactive moments. It happened when I gave myself a few seconds of space. And that could look like this. Before responding to a hard question, let the silence sit slightly longer than feels comfortable. Before making a decision under pressure, ask, do I really need to decide this now, or does it just feel that way? Most things that feel urgent aren't. And that gap is where you find out which is which. So you've created the gap, but what do you do inside it? This is where the second habit comes in. Under pressure, your mind does something really sneaky. It blends facts with interpretation and then treats them like it's the same thing. For example, if your manager says, we need to revisit this proposal, that's a fact, right? 6 simple words. Your mind might instantly add, they think I did a poor job. I'm going to have to redo everything. They're losing confidence in me. None of that was said. That's your mind that added that narrative. And that's the problem. When you react to interpretation instead of the reality, you're no longer thinking clearly. You're defending against a story that's made up, and you're spiraling about a conclusion that you've invented. One question that's helped me enormously is, what did I actually observe? And what am I adding to it? It's simple, but it really interrupts the spiral. It doesn't make the pressure disappear, but it brings you back to what's actually in front of you, which is usually more manageable than the narrative that you've constructed. Now, sometimes the problem isn't misreading a moment, it's losing sight of everything else around it. Pressure narrows your vision, and you fixate on one problem or an email or a comment, and suddenly that's the only thing that you can see. And I learned this the hard way. During a quarterly review meeting, a stakeholder pushed back on one metric and I got hooked. I spent the next 15 minutes mentally defending that number while barely tracking the rest of the conversation. And after that, I realized that the metric wasn't even all that important. I'd lost perspective entirely. Now, when I notice myself fixating, I ask 2 questions. What's actually at stake here? And what matters most? Not in this moment, but overall. And that pulls me back to context. The thing that you're obsessing over is rarely the whole picture. Now, those first 3 habits are mental, but here's what many people miss. Clear thinking isn't just a mind game. Your body is part of the equation. You need to give your nervous system a say. When you're stressed, your nervous system shifts into alert mode, with your heart rate being up, your breathing shallow, and the part of your brain that's responsible for complex thinking starts to dim. You're physiologically optimized for survival and not nuance. You can't think your way out of that state. The body got you there. The body has to lead you out. So what actually works is really simple. Exhale slowly, unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, feel your feet on the floor. It almost sounds too basic, but it really works as a quick reset. I used to think that pushing through stress was discipline. What I've learned is that a calm nervous system thinks much better than a brilliant but hyperactivated one. You need to give your brain the conditions that it needs to work properly. Between high-stakes meetings now, I take a minute to arrive at the next conversation so that I don't carry the last one's tension. And that small practice has changed the quality of my thinking more than any other productivity system. Clear thinking under pressure isn't a trait that you're born with, it's a set of habits that you build one small step at a time. So create the gap before you respond, separate facts from stories that you're adding to them, zoom out before you zoom in, and give your nervous system a say. Until next time, this is Karthika from Align, wishing you calm amidst the chaos and alignment in all that you do.